Welcome back to a brand new episode of Cosmic Confessions. I'm your host, CrashLit, and today I'm super excited to be joined by third baseman Brett Fick of the Glow Mojis. Brett, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Crash. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. And before we go any further in this interview, be sure to subscribe to Cosmic Confessions. We're on all the audio platforms, so Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora, you name it, we should be there. And be sure to also show Brett some love on social media. Follow him on Instagram at Fick Fitness. And Brett, the first question I really want to ask you about is, while you're a Glow Emoji this year, last year you were on the Chili Peppers. Can you talk about what that experience was like of being traded and competing against the guys that you played with all of last year?
Yeah, man. At first, I was kind of shocked, because it was only the first season, and I was getting so used to being a Pepper, as a ride or die Pepper. And then I got the call from Ray Ortega, the coach of the Glow Mojis, and he's like, "Hey, man, I need you on my side this year. I need the power. I want you to be in the home run derby." And at first, I got a little emotional. I was like, "Man, this is crazy!" Like, out of all people, I'm going to be moving over, the first guy, traded to the other side. But then I thought, what a God-given opportunity too, because I didn't get to do the home run derby as much as I wanted to last year. And he was like, "You're going to do it as much as you want this year." And I was like, "All right, well, that's cool." And, taking more of like a designated hitter role and, letting some of these younger guys that are fresh out of college, run around the infield and outfield and do their thing. It's definitely been a different transition for me, but I feel very blessed to be a part of that side because it's a different environment on the Glow Moji side. It's more like you kind of feel like an underdog a little bit because let's be real, everybody loves the Peppers, right? That's the face of the franchise. But the Glow Mojis, the growth and everything going on over there, it's really special to be a part of it.
Well, you definitely know, especially given you were a Pepper last year, so you really know how just a lot of people do tend to gravitate towards the Peppers because, like you said, they're more the face of cosmic baseball. Not that,
Yeah,
but that's not to say what the Glow Emojis aren't accomplishing anything either. After all, the Glow Emojis are currently the defending champions of cosmic baseball, so you did join that
correct.
side in that regard. But then you talked
Yes,
about
yes.
also but then you also talked about getting to be more in home run derby. So what's that been like for you getting to take part in that and not as kind of every night if you want, compared to just maybe not doing as much as you were hoping when you were with the Chili Peppers?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was, we've got different rosters this year too. Some of the guys like Reese Jurgen's not on the Peppers anymore, and shout out to Reese. He was a fantastic teammate to play with, and he was excellent at the home run derby. And like, the first year for us really like was just kind of figuring out who even can do the home run derby or like what fields right hand hitters should hit more in or left hand hitters, and like the learning curve on the first tour was huge. Like for the people that weren't a part of the first tour, like certain times, you would be playing at stadiums and it was just like it felt like a graveyard. Like even, trying to hit it out in the home run derby, some of the guys were struggling to get like one. And the we I feel like we did improve. We got some baseballs that are higher quality this year, and it just feels a little bit more like I'm prepared for the home run derby. Like it's definitely a different type of swing that you have to be ready for, and like the endurance you have to be in the derby. Like 45 seconds isn't a long time. However, when you're swinging a baseball bat as many times as you can in 45 seconds, it can really take a lot out of you. It truly is a sprint, and there are some variables. Like if you get a good round with a bunch of good pitches, you might have a great round. Sometimes you got to, even take the bad pitches and just take it or try and hack it above your head or at your feet and try and pull it out of the ballpark still. And, it's just a very unique experience. Like when you're sitting there watching it, it's like, oh, like that guy hit one or two home runs or that guy hit 10 or 12 home runs. Like until you're like in the box and you're like feeling the energy of the crowd and everything. Like it's hard to describe.
I do want to ask you, talk about just it really being a sprint with the home run derbies. And you see this a lot in the pros where a guy will participate in the home run derby during All-Star week and then he just goes into a complete slump the second half of the season. How do you
Yeah.
make sure that that doesn't happen to you, where you're still able to do your job, hit the ball hard, put it in play when you're in the when you're actually playing ball and then still being able to seamlessly transition to and from the home run derbies.
That's actually a really good point because it's almost like you've built two types of swings, and in your brain you turn on the one swing for the derby and you turn it off when you get back in the game. Like for most guys, for me, I'm an old school hitter. I like to hit the top half of the ball and create backspin. On the belly or higher pitches. Anything low, I'm trying to get under the ball as much as I can and create lift on it. Sometimes it backspins, sometimes it's a knuckle, sometimes it top spins. It just really depends on who's pitching, and there's all kinds of science that goes behind hitting now. We look at spin rates and how much break and action the movement is on the ball. Like we've got these machines now that can read and tell us data on every pitch. So when you're training, like for me in the off season, when I'm training, I actually practice the home run derby rounds. Like I'll put on the Hit Tracks machine. I'll pick out a stadium. Like, hey, it's a AAA stadium. I know I'm going to do the home run derby at. I pick up a bat from the batting cage and drop my wood bat and use one of their bats, and I start trying to tell the guy pitch from this amount of feet away. And I'm actually looking at launch angle and figuring out what that type of swing looks like. And then when I get back, I go back to regular hitting. Maybe I hit off a machine that's pitching from 60.6 inches away like a pitcher's mound, and putting it up on a mound so it's the attack angle is the same attack angle. But one thing I will say about the home run derby that people don't realize, when you have a screen that's closer to you, it's a lot harder to get lift on the ball. So like there is a very specific set of pitches that you're looking for. Like you typically want something that's kind of elevated, but not too elevated, because the angle of attack is right on top of you. So like how much arch the pitcher puts on it, or if they're throwing it hard, do I scoot up in the box? Do I scoot back in the box? Like what field am I playing at? Is there a short left porch? Is the wall 40 feet tall? Is it a short wall? Like there's all these different variables, and it's actually amazing that we get to like play a game within a game. Like it's like, hey, here's the strategy here. This one, it's blowing out to dead center, so we're going to try and hit them out to left center. If it's blowing dead down the left field line or hooking down the line, maybe you have to hit it to left center so it blows out down the left field line. Like these are all things we're looking at. Or maybe it's just not my time to hit. Maybe it's blowing dead in from left. Hey man, I got a left-hand hitter on my team and it's blowing out to right. Maybe I let that guy hit tonight instead of me, because that's the right thing to do as a teammate, right? You want to win the game, so you go with the best strategy.
I really love just how selfless your mentality is when you talk about it. But I do also want to talk about you mentioned just the relationship you have with whoever is throwing that home run derby, which for the Glow Mojis is usually catcher Evan Orzak. What is it like working with Evan, and how is you kind of develop that rhythm and relationship from mound to plate working with him?
Yeah, I mean, Evan's just a machine, man. In the off season, Evan gives baseball lessons, so he's just throwing all the time from behind an L screen. So it just comes like second nature. It's natural to him. I've used also Dalton Hurst before. I had the first weekend, I learned a pretty valuable lesson. So it wasn't blowing out in Jacksonville, and Dalton, throws more like an arch ball. Well, for me, I feel like I can get under those balls and I can create angle because it's not coming in so hard. Evan, though, when it's not blowing out, you need that extra umph, and he's kind of just the throw at one speed guy, but he puts it right where you typically want it. So there's this strategy with that too, like who's pitching to you. I've seen times where guys went with the guy lobbing it and they were just hitting every ball off the wall. My first round in Jacksonville, the catcher Max Varon and I literally looked at each other after the round. He was like, dude, you at least hit 7 or 8 home runs. You crushed those balls. And all of them were warning track balls. And I had 1 home run. It was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous, right? And so like this game is something we're learning to do as we go on. Also, like what kind of bat you're using. Like some of the 2-piece bats, to me they just work a lot better because there's some flex in them. The 1-piece bat, I see guys using it and sometimes they struggle with it because it's there's not enough whip to it. So yeah, it's definitely a game within a game, man. And there's all these things like we give each other feedback. Evan's just so poised. Like he'll like be like, like my bad, like I threw one up, and he's like, I got you. Like he like gives like hand gestures and stuff. And I'll be like more down, and he'll be like, all right, I got you down. Like it's like weird. We communicate with each other because you can't hear anything, you can't talk to each other. It's so loud. Like getting a feel for how far back you want to put the cage, like if it's too close, like your whole round could be ruined because your timing, you're just not there. So like usually I tell him like, hey, I'd rather you be further because I can move up in the box if I have to, if it's too far. So there's little things like that that we're still learning. I'm gonna say it right now. This is just my gut feeling right now. I just feel there's gonna be a round soon where I'm gonna go off. It's gonna be like one of those 10, 15 home runs in a round. And I think it's coming soon. I just have a gut feeling because I've been fighting a little bit of a wrist sprain for the last 3 weeks, and it's starting to heal up now. So the Neon Nebula Nightmare is almost at 100% again and ready to rock. So we'll be having a good time out there.
So you're telling me that you're going for Joe Moji numbers then?
I am. I'm looking to break that record, man. I don't know if I can. Joe, if you want to talk about Joe, probably the most incredible home run derby swing ever. I mean, this guy, like when he gets in a rhythm, it's just like they're not just little home runs too. I mean, I'm talking like Mesa last weekend. One of the fans came up to me. He's like, "Hey, the guy with the pink mustache, see that scoreboard on top of the roof back there? He put one over that." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, because when we're down on the field, like we're not really watching. We just see, "Hey, it's gone." Right? Next ball's already hit. We're looking at the next ball. We don't really get to track it as it lands like the fans do. They're like, "Oh my gosh," and some of the fans don't even see the other ones. They're just like, so that's been cool to kind of see the progression of that too, like having umpires down the line now and they're communicating, and like our staff has done a really good job of like trying to improve like being able to see these balls going out of the ballpark, because sometimes if there's like a clear fence and a ball goes into the bullpen behind that clear fence where you can see into the bullpen, it's really hard in Cosmic because you can't see anything. It's like once it travels past that fence, you don't know if it landed in front of it or if it landed over it. It's very difficult to determine that sometimes. But the key to figure that out is just hit it as far as you can, way over it, and then you don't have that problem anymore. So,
I do want to now ask you about what you're doing before you got to Cosmic, because after you graduated college, you kind of stepped away from baseball for over a decade, if I have that correct, and did a lot of different
yeah.
business ventures. So, can you talk about just what that was like to then step away from baseball for such a long time and just pursue just all these different ventures that you've still, some of which you've still got going to this day? Like, hell, I mean, I remember, I think it
Yeah.
was what, a couple weeks ago in Frisco, we had breakfast and you were just talking about just closing $1 billion deals in your sleep or something like that.
I don't know about $1 billion deals, but so when I first got done playing at UC Santa Barbara, I had a labrum surgery at USC Keck Medical Center. Curlin and Job, famous arm doctors. They did most of the big leaguers back then, and I was like thinking, okay, I'm gonna heal up. I was a pitcher and an infielder and an outfielder and a catcher. I played everything in college. I was like the ultimate utility player. And I used to throw very, very hard. I mean, I was a closer at UC Santa Barbara, which is known to be a very good pitching school. And I wanted to come back. My mind, I thought I was going to throw 100 miles an hour someday, and I was going to be a major league player. My uncle Robert played 9.5 years in the big leagues. My uncle Chuck was a 30-year scout, 5 World Series rings between the Cardinals and the Giants. My cousin Chucky pitched 2 years in the big leagues for the Cardinals and the Astros. Like, it just runs really deep in my family. Like, that's tip of the iceberg. I've got D1 college brothers to cousins and nephews. Like, my family really wanted me to continue playing baseball, but I just kind of lost the fire. I was playing like a men's league and just trying to stay in shape, and went to the California Winter League, and I ended up like re-tearing up my labrum just a little bit after my surgery, and I was like, well, that's God telling me I'm done. So I was kind of depressed. I was fighting some really hard times because baseball is all I knew for a long time, and I was thinking I need to make some changes. I need to start fresh and feel like I've got motivation in my life of doing something different. So I packed up my car and I just moved to Nashville. I drove 25 hours from San Diego all the way out there and got there, and I didn't know really a single person other than like a couple people from home and some mutual friends that I had met. And I started working out there for an auto dealership, and then I had a friend that introduced me to franchising. I was out having dinner with him one night, and I said, how was your week? And he goes, great. And he showed me his paycheck, and he made like $30,000. I said, oh my gosh, like that, you made that in a 2 week pay period. And it really got my interest. I was like, well, if you can do that, why can't I do that? So I interviewed twice for a company called Chem Dry Carpet Cleaning. They hired two experienced people from the industry in front of me. I saw the guy that was interviewing me a couple months later, and I said, "Hey, how are those people doing?" And he said, "No, not that good." And I go, "Well, I'm still interested, and I can make you a promise. I'm going to be the hardest worker that you've ever had. I'll be the first person in and the last person out, because that's what I was doing at the car dealerships anyway." So he goes, "Well, you're in luck. Someone's quitting, and you start this week." And I'm like, "Whoa, all right." My first salary job. I ended up selling more franchises than anyone in the history of that company in 40 years. And then my friend joined me, and I still work with him today. He's the founder and owner of Rolling Suds, the commercial power washing franchise, which I still work with that brand today as well. Fast forward though, 12 years in the industry, I own my own franchise brokerage called freefranchisebroker.com. I work with a lot of people all over the country, and 136 plus brands are contracted with me. I actually just contracted another group, Belfour Franchising, so another portfolio of brands I'm onboarding right now. I've got 9 employees that work for me, and basically what we do is we help people find franchise businesses. So if someone wants to start a business, whether it's like a service brand, like electricians or handyman or power washing or whatever it is, right? We work with a whole plethora of brands, and then we have other things that are like retail or like food based. And my team and I built an AI technology that people fill out a questionnaire form, and in about 10 minutes they can figure out what brands fit their skills, their personality score, their budget. It tells them potential funding strategies and everything. So my company's really taken off in the last like 2.5, 3 months. And we actually just had our best week ever as a company this week. And my goal, is to be, pumping out some serious numbers, like a multi-million-dollar business here in the next like 6 to 12 months. And we're definitely on pace to do that. So it's really exciting times for us right now.
Well, congrats on all the success you're having, Brett.
Yeah.
It is really cool to just hear you talk about it. And I know I was exaggerating when I said $1 billion, but it just the way you were talking was just it was just clearly you were having success, and it was just really inspiring to hear about that. So that's why I really wanted to follow up on that. But now where I want to
Yeah.
go is you decide to what made you decide to get back into baseball while still chasing all these just different revenue streams and business opportunities that I'd heavily invested yourself in over like that decade plus you took off from baseball.
Yeah. So first things first, I was a really lost person for a little while. I got a little too deep into the party scene, and I was having fun in my 20s, but it started to not be fun anymore for me. So I moved to Florida with the intent to clean up my act a little bit. And then I ended up getting sober when I was 31 on March 8th, 2020. I'll never forget it. I walked into an AA room and I said, I just need to surround myself with better people, and I need to be around people who are successful and I can learn from. And, I need to get away from this constant like addiction to going out and drinking and living this lifestyle, because I looked in the mirror one day and I was just so sad and disappointed. I was like crying almost. I was so sad. Like I was disappointing in the man I had become, and I didn't see myself having a bright future. I was like, man, this is not the path that God wants me to be, going down. And I felt like a message from God in my heart and my mind saying, hey, listen, if you get, your act together, your dream of baseball can still come true. And I'll never forget the day I was in the back of my house, back bathroom, and I just got out of the shower, and I just felt this feeling in my heart, and I knew God was speaking to me that I had a bigger picture and a bigger plan from Him. And so I got sober. I started to get bored. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was working all the time, but when I wasn't working, I was like, you can only play so much golf and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to play Sunday League baseball. Well, that turned into like a team. I hit a home run off one of the best pitchers in the league. And Crash, let me just say this: South Florida, near West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. There's baseball leagues like people think men's leagues, and then there's Southeast Florida baseball that's recreational. And these guys were like Dominicans, Cubans, Venezuelans, Puerto Ricans. These guys were throwing like 90 to 95 miles an hour the first Sunday I was out there. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like pro baseball. And so I was like, man, I better step it up and get shape. I'm playing with some of these guys and they were monsters. And I'm like, damn, these guys look like pro baseball players. Like, well, they used to play pro baseball. What do you think? I'm like, oh, it makes a lot of sense, right? So I joined this team. They were one of the best teams in the league. They were called the Palm Beach Thunder. Met awesome guys on this team. We still play tournaments together today. When I'm in the off season, I play like 45 to 90 baseball games on average every off season, preferably on the 90 side. I at least do like 3 to 5 tournaments, and I play in like winter leagues and all kinds of stuff. Monday night, Wednesday night league, the Federal League in Pompano. I do the Saturday league in the mornings, and I do Sunday baseball, which is either like a 9 or a noon game, so I can go to church on whenever I'm not playing. So um, I hit like a home run off one of the best pitchers in the league, and rest in peace. His name was Austin, and he was a really good guy. He ended up dying a few years later, but the team saw me and was like, "Hey, man, we heard you played at UC Santa Barbara. Like, we have this tournament team. They're called the Delray Nationals. We're one of the best teams in the country, and we play very competitive baseball tournaments." And I'm like, "Sure." So I joined the team. These guys were like studs, like shortstop Venezuelan, ex AAA guy, first baseman from Cuba, just like a massive human being, just hitting bombs dead center. Like, and I'm thinking, man, these guys are better than me. So I worked out really hard. It gave me this drive, like this energy. I had a roommate that I was living with that was a personal trainer, and he's like, "Hey, go get your blood work done. Let's, before I put you on a meal plan and get you in the gym and everything, I want you to like figure out, what your engine and the oil and everything looks like. Let's do a checkup." My testosterone was at like 180. Like normal's like 500 to 800. I was like just dragging, like leaving the gym. I was just like a dead zombie. I was like, I have no energy waking up in the mornings, like wasn't sleeping good. So the doctor put me on the TRT stuff. I got all my hormones in check. I started taking like supplements that my body, like in my blood work score was like the worst blood work ever. Like all my ratios of everything, liver enzymes were high. And it took me like 2 years to get my body back to like normal. And in that time, I was working out twice a day. I worked out at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. every day. I never missed a day for a year straight. I marked my calendar every day. And I was tracking all my food going in my body. I knew every calorie, macro, everything. All my workouts were pre planned. And I was in this bodybuilder gym called Redcon in Boca, watching bodybuilders around me. And I was like, I'm gonna be just as big as you, if not close to it. And these guys were like, seeing me in there, and I even had pro bodybuilders like, "Hey, man, I see you working. Keep going. Whatever you're working towards, I don't know what it is, but keep going." And they knew they could see the drive in me. That year with the Delray Nationals, I had 22 home runs throughout playing through the year. The Savannah Bananas saw it, and like the recruiter guy was like, "Hey man, so many people have been sending me your videos. Like crazy amount of people are like, dude, you got to sign this guy. You got to sign this guy." Like, so they invited me to play. I played one game. It was the pros versus the college team, the CPL team. We had a showcase game, and I think it was May 2023, and that changed my life forever, because then I got a call later on when I didn't end up playing with them. I was supposed to go on tour with them, and I hurt my back. They're like, "Hey man, we're just going to go with younger guys. Like, no hard feelings. Just, it's just a business decision." I'm like, totally fine. I played my one pro game. God, whatever you told me, it came true. I played my one pro game. I could say I was a pro baseball player, even if it was only one game. Well, then I linked up with the Peppers, and Jason Dean and I, were talking. He's like, "Hey, we got Austin Schultz and you and a couple other guys, but like we're putting a team together." And so I told him, "Here's a couple guys that I know: Crosby, Trey Vanderpool, Corey Cubano, Brandon Robb." Like I just started throwing out all these names of guys I had played games with or tournaments with or on the Bananas stuff with, and we put together two teams. We went on our first tour. The first game we showed up in Durham in this big stadium, we had no idea if it was going to be the bottom deck just sold out or, there was going to be a few people sprinkled in. This place was packed, like not not a single seat open. And we knew right then and there, we're like, uh-oh, we're on to something here. Like this really is special. And yeah, man, that's my journey. I'm 37 now. I started playing last year when I was 36, my first pro baseball tour. And I try and be an inspiration to anybody out there who still, has aspirations to do great things in their life.
Like you said, it's even just inspiring hearing you talk about just everything you persevered through, especially just those guys at the gym and just everything you did to just get yourself to where you can say, I'm a pro baseball player. Like I made that come through. So it's really inspiring to see that, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. And the coolest part about all of this is not being a pro baseball player. And it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. It's really the amount of like special moments that you get, like with the kids. Like these kids come up to me and they're like, "You're my favorite player." I'm like, "That's crazy. How am I your favorite player?" Like, it's like, what? This is crazy. I feel so blessed to be doing this. And I'm always thinking too, because when I was a kid, I remember like going to a baseball game and these guys were like gods to me. I was like, oh my gosh, like there's the shortstop from UCLA or USC or, I know you're a USC guy. I'll say, like it's
Right
like it's
on.
like it's like going to a USC baseball game and you see these guys turn a double play or you see a guy hit a missile out of the ballpark and you're a little kid going, that is crazy that those guys can do that, and now here I am. I'm one of those guys and I see that look in the kids' eyes and I'm like, that's my why. That's it right there.
And you talk about being an entertainer, and that's kind of where I want to move this conversation to next. Is one of the segments you're very well known for with every game, even though you're somehow, dude, really bad at it. I don't know how to say it is. You're the arm wrestling guy. So putting aside just how you blow it every time, what's it like to get to kind of help just really get to arm wrestle with those kids and be a part of just their overall game day experience when they come to a cosmic block party and then later the game itself?
Where I give the front office a lot of credit in this whole organization is they create special moments during the whole day. Very special moments. The arm wrestling will forever be one of the most special moments because these kids, like when I fall down and they beat me and stuff, like I can sense like looking up at the kids and stuff, like how proud they are, and they're like, yeah, and like they'll step on top of me and stuff. And like one girl got me good. She like hit me hard. I was like, oh gosh. And and then I like go down and sign autographs, and like usually the kid's still down there, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm the kid that just beat you in arm wrestling, right?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I was trying to forget that. I'm really sad about it, actually." I try and get in like the actor mode too when I'm up there, like, "Oh, this kid's going down. Yeah, I want to." In wrestling, WW, I'm a huge fan. They have the baby face who's the good guy, and they have the heel who's the bad guy. I want to be the baby face, but man, I'm definitely the heel in the arm wrestling. And the other guys like Crosby in the dance off or Blaine when he's doing the VIP dance party, like we all know our role is definitely the heel. Like we're up there to lose, but the way we can lose is in good fashion too. So I'm gonna mix it up a little bit. I've got some like unique things I'm gonna bring to the table soon for the arm wrestling, just to kind of add some spice to it and change it up a little bit because it's I don't want it to be the same. Part of entertaining is finding new ways to constantly do the same thing. And that's one of my goals this year. I want to do that.
I do not want to ask you, you talk about being a WWE fan and especially your look, especially with the hair there, dude. I mean, take the hat off for a second. I mean, you really see
I
what
just got it done.
Hey, but yeah, can you talk about what inspired just that look for Cosmic, along with just how you tat up your arm before games, and just
Yeah, I
how
mean,
you really how you really come in looking like you could be a pro wrestler. Like I've talked with multiple people, especially the staffs of the places we visit, and they're like, "Is he
yeah.
WWE?" I'm like, probably could be if he wanted to.
Yeah, the tattoos that I put on, for all the fans who don't know about, like, I put on glow in the dark tattoos. They're, from Amazon basically. I order like tons of them, and it takes a while to put on. Like the guys see me in the locker room, I'm cutting out individual tattoos from these sheets and placing them on me, and they're, when do you know how many times you got to place a little tattoo like that all over your body, how long that takes? Like sometimes I'm in there for like 30-40 minutes putting on tattoos, and I'm like, all right, like, but I'm getting good at it now. So like I've got kind of a process now, and like you got to use hot water. That's one of the things that I learned because it helps it come off the paper better. But yeah, the WWE thing, man, I saw this documentary on Netflix last year. I think it was called Unreal or something like that, and it's about WWE, and they're showing the behind the scenes and like talking about it and everything. Like I enjoyed that image of like the WWE of Cosmic. Like that's definitely my persona. I'm the Neon Nebula Nightmare, brother. Like the perennial pepper Punisher is here to stay. Oh, the glow stick galactic gladiator. Like the fans, they go nuts for it. They love it, and I'm trying to like build this persona now around that image. Like, and I just ordered things like I've got hat clips that say Neon Nebula Nightmare for like handing out to little kids, or like uh PPP perennial pepper Punisher stickers that kids can put on their helmet or something, and like got my signature on it. I'll sign it for them, and there's a spot where I can custom sign it or something. Like just little things like that are gonna like help build this individual brand that I've been blessed to like have on a tour like this. And they encourage us to do that. They're like, go build your own brand, go. Some of us have 10,000 followers, some have 1 million followers like Austin. And you look at the guys that have more followers, they do build their own brand. Like, Austin's got all these slogans. I won't say it, but people know what it is. And like these slogans that people know, and like they're putting things on clothing and stuff. Like it's awesome. And I aspire, like, not necessarily to be an influencer, but I aspire to be someone who a kid like goes like Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Brett Fick. Like that would be amazing if I could be like a kid's top three character, even though I'm not on the WWE, but I have emailed the WWE in their school in Florida, and I want to do it this off season. I want to go do the wrestling school, and I think it would be amazing if WWE would let me make an appearance on behalf of Cosmic Baseball at one of their events, and even maybe get in the ring, because I mean, they're letting I show speeds out there and all these guys. I think the Neon Nebula Nightmare would be an incredible appearance in a tag team or something, or running in and hitting someone with a chair sometime. That would make my whole life. I would be, life goals, bucket list completed if that were the case.
I'd definitely love to see that if that did happen. So be sure to let everyone know, because I think that would definitely get a ton of support from Cosmic if you were able to pull that off. So
Yeah, I
WWE, if you're
think
listening to
that would be
this,
awesome.
get the Neon Nebula Nightmare Brett Fick on WWE. Like you heard it here first.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
brother.
And there he goes. He just pulled the shirt off. That means business from Mr. Brett Fick.
Yo, brother, I'll tell you what. If you don't get the Neon Nebula Nightmare on WWE, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna ring you up, and then guess what? You're gonna get the wrath of the perennial pepper Punisher.
I I think I'm gonna have nightmares tonight with that.
Oh
but uh,
man.
but Brett, with the tour we're currently on, what's got you excited as we head to Omaha, Nebraska, first thing in the morning?
Well, it's the home of Austin Schultz, so it's going to be electric. I already know he's got some crazy stuff up his sleeve. I don't even want to know actually, but yeah, I know it's going to be amazing because that's been a long time coming for him. We've been talking about this since last year, and I know he's really excited for it. Yeah, I think Omaha is also one of my favorite places I've ever been to because they have one of my favorite steakhouses I've ever eaten at. So getting myself a nice Omaha steak is really on my list of things to do. I had the opportunity to go to the College World Series there one year and watch my UC Santa Barbara Gauchos make their one and only appearance. We went 1-2. We beat Miami and we lost to like Texas Tech and Oklahoma State, I think. And yeah, but it was awesome. I got to go experience Omaha and be a fan rooting for my alumni. And the fans there are awesome. And I know in the World Series, there's a lot of people from all over, but like I got to meet some local people there, and like genuinely, I can say like those fans out there love baseball. So should be a fun time. I'm looking forward to playing in front of all these people out there, and yeah, we're playing. We're not playing at Rosenblatt or TD. We're playing at the Royals AAA park, and I've never had a chance to go there, so I'm looking forward to playing at a new park.
Final couple questions for you, Brett, before I let you go. Just what's one piece of advice you've received throughout your life, whether it was related to baseball or just some other aspect of your life that's really stuck with you and is just really, I guess, been something that just you've carried with you as you've learned and grown as a person throughout your career?
My dad knows how passionate about baseball I am, and even as a little kid, like I was so emotional as a kid. Like I was the kid who was like the stud pitcher and catcher and shortstop. I did it all, right? Like I was never a big guy either. Like I'm 6 foot, 230 pounds now. I'm like pretty muscular. But growing up my whole life, I was like a super skinny kid and like more just like fast. Like I was a soccer player. Like that was my thing. And played baseball obviously, but soccer was really my favorite sport. I loved it. And my dad knew I was highly competitive. Like if I gave up a home run or something pitching, like I would like ball crying. I was so upset with myself. Like, how could you throw that pitch there? You're so dumb. Like, like I would wear myself out. I'd be at home, like I wouldn't even want to eat dinner. And my dad said, you're going to grow up in life and you're going to have more failures than you will success. That's just how the world works. And he says, you just need to learn not to wear your emotion on your sleeve and learn to let things go. And, that's something that I still think about all the time today because I am an emotional person when it comes to sports. I love to win and I love my team, being the camaraderie of being a Glow Moji. I love the energy that this team brings. Like they want to win really bad. And that's like something you can't take away from us. We're a team that like truly goes out there and gives it our all. But I will say that we do understand the bigger picture of everything now too. Like this is an entertainment baseball game. This is something that we call pro baseball, right? There's guys that throw really hard. People come to our games, they go, man, these guys are just clowns like these other guys. And how good's that? Are these like, washed up guys or something? Like, no, man, there's some guys on our team that you should probably be in minor league baseball. Like Aiden Alger, man, that guy, I'm telling you, when you see this guy pitch people, like if you've never seen our game, the lefty kid, Aiden Alger on the Peppers, like if I were a scout, I'm signing that kid right now and be like, hey, how much to buy you out of that contract? Like you're coming to pitch for my organization. Like he's very, very good. Uh, Reed Alexander, same thing. Uh, guys topping out like what 98, 99. I think he said he topped out at like 99 miles an hour. I'm like, whew, like that's not easy to hit. That's what major league arms are throwing. Uh, who else? I want to give a shout out to couple guys I want to give a shout out to. Brandon Crosby took a leap of faith, joined this organization as the local guy, really has put the Peppers on his back, is a true leader of our organization. I respect him a lot, and I think he's got a really bright future in cosmic baseball because of some of these guys. It makes us different, and the energy that some of these guys bring and the personalities. Breland Almodova, same thing. Like, there is nobody like Breland in the world. He is a one of one. Like, I think we can agree, right, Crash? Like, he is so unique. We were doing the home run derby last week, and Chris like mentioned to me, he's like, yeah, he's just out there in the crowd, and like someone hit a home run, and he just caught it, like in the middle of everybody, just like caught it with his bare hand, like, oh look, who wants the ball? Like, it's like the craziest thing, right? Like, only Breland would do that, or playing pickleball in left field, and then like, oh, a ball's hit at me, I'm gonna catch it. Like, it's so awesome. The moments that we're creating with this team, like, the other guys, we could say, they started all of this stuff. They created this opportunity by creating entertainment baseball and stuff, and we're all very grateful for that. And they're doing their trick plays and everything like that. But what I appreciate about this organization is we are truly just entertaining based on how we are as people and like the things that we do. Like, we don't, and cosmic baseball is the most unique thing in all of sports. And no one can take that away from us. Like, when you get there and you see it live and you see this orb just coming right at you at the plate, and you're like, how are these guys hitting this baseball? It's not easy. It's very difficult, and we've gotten really good at it. But there's nothing like it out there. And a message to the fans: I really hope that you get your hands on some tickets now, because the other tours going on out there, some of them you can't even get tickets to. So do yourself a favor, get tickets while you still can, and come enjoy one of these games. Pick out a city, fly your family out, and go have a little vacation and be a part of sports history, because that's what we're creating right now, is something so unique, and it's going down in the history books as the first of first and the first ever.
A big thank you to Brett Fick, aka the Neon Nebula Nightmare, the Glow Moji, or the chili pepper turned Glow Moji, for joining me here today on Cosmic Confessions. Thanks again, Brett. Great having you.
Thank you, Crash. You're the man.
Be sure to follow him at Fick Fitness on Instagram. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be there, and we'll see you next time with a brand new episode of Cosmic Confessions.